All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's kick it. Okay, last night's session, another record all-time closing high. Dow Jones Industrial, S&P 500, Nasdaq, if I'm not mistaken. Same sort of thing, powering higher. Nothing too impressive. Just a drift, a grind higher, almost on a daily basis. Quite amazing. And we were talking about amazing a week and a half ago. The fact that we had such an intense V-shaped recovery only to kind of go into this low volatility environment. We've already got the VIX back down at 12 and a half. I mean, that's just out of this world. So I think very quickly, people have become complacent again, and that's interesting. I think that's also a bit dangerous, and I think that's going to present some opportunities, in the near term. So not a whole lot of leadership out in the States yesterday. We continue to see earnings coming through in the States. They continue to be solid. We did have a couple things, Abercrombie and Fitch falling after being downgraded, and obviously a handful of other random points. We had GoPro yesterday, who is said yesterday that they're going to sell another $800 million in stock. They've applied to have it unlocked before their period expires on December 20. Their lockup period expires on December 22nd. So the share is off there a bit as well. I still believe that that's one of the best puts you can buy on the exchange at the moment, because when all that stock does become available, there's going to be a hell of a lot more shares in the open market, and it's going to hit the price hard. Going into Asia. Not a whole lot of follow-through really anywhere except for the Nikkei. Nikkei obviously powering forward here, up about 2% as we speak. We saw the weaker yen again just driving things higher there. Outside of that, there's no leadership whatsoever. We didn't have a whole lot to really push markets higher or pull markets down. We had miners that were a little bit soft again, and Australia, we had yesterday's afternoon session, U.S. session. We had a bit of a reversal in some of the mining stocks and the commodity-driven stocks. They traded well in the morning, but they started to really feel very heavy in the afternoon. Things like Sasol, Billitons, and the like. So I think that that was probably led a little bit by the fact that commodity prices started to roll over again. We pretty much got about a $20 pullback in gold yesterday. Copper came off about 1%. Oil came down by about 1.5%, 2%, maybe even from the highs. So I think that was maybe a little bit of the reason why we started to see the miners start to roll over a little bit. All right, charts of interest this morning. We've got another chart out of FactSet, S&P 500 companies with the biggest sales growth for their most recent period. It just shows you some of the crazy numbers that you're seeing out of biotechs and tech companies and the likes, but specifically the biotechs, and we're all over the show on here. And that's one of the reasons why you have such hectic valuations on these things, because one drug that goes through and earnings can triple. All right. Looking into corporate action this morning, we have Coronation out with headline earnings per share. Guidance before was at 586. The expectations, the trading statement came out at 572, which is exactly where it came in. Revenue looks a little bit light. Divi per share looks a touch better, so maybe a little bit mixed out of Coronation. I haven't gone through anything there, wanting to have a look and see what guidance is going forward. But from what I understand, there's going to be, their performance fees are going to suffer on some of the rolling periods due to the fact that their performance this year has been so poor. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm talking about book there, but it'd be interesting to see how the market reacts to it today. All right. We've got the current account balance. We had the current account balance out of Japan this morning, much higher than expected. Trade balance also a little bit better than expected. We've got machine tool orders as well, looking a little bit soft. And then locally, we've got manufacturing production at 1. So not a whole lot of data to follow out today. We'll have to keep a close eye on the trade action and see where it takes us from there. All right, let's get into the maps. All right, first thing we're going to have a look at here is the FTSE. Take it down to a daily. Shorten it up here a little bit. A couple of my junior traders put me onto this one yesterday. Well done, boys. Popping through the neckline of an inverse head and shoulders here beautifully. I think you can easily say that we've made the breakout there. I think this is actually a very symmetrical inverse head and shoulders, and really giving us a potential for a big upside target here in the FTSE, maybe potentially even taking us all the way back to the highs of the year. So this is a very, very bullish setup. We've been lagging hard in Europe, more specifically in Germany and in London. The last few days, London's really outperformed the rest of Europe, and I think we maybe look for that to continue over the next couple sessions with this kind of setup on the cards. All right, next one is Telkom. Typed in Foschini. Telkom, we've got breaking out here from this consolidation at the top end of the range here. We've been in a very wide range, but very consistent range between about 50 and 62. We popped up beautifully above that yesterday on a clean breakout. I mean, the target here is really big. So, I would say it's as high as $74. So, there's definitely a lot of meat potentially on Telkom if we can hang above 62 and get some follow through here. The next one we'll look at is Sasol. So Sasol it came back yesterday to test its little wedge that it broke down from, and we actually got above resistance on that yesterday at a point. It traded really soft in the afternoon. It actually closed it up a couple bucks, I think, into the close. Traded very poorly in the afternoon session in the States, with the market pushing higher there, and it actually was pulling back the whole time. So I think maybe we could see it fade a little bit from here. I wouldn't be surprised to see us trade back down closer to the lows in the next couple sessions, provided commodity prices still stay under pressure. All right, Naspers 1400 has been a hard level to get through over the past couple sessions. So you can see there, let me just keep it here for the time being. So you can see how big 1400 has been. We basically had three closes above, but 1400 has more or less been the ceiling. And if we look at it in the short term, I think we showed this a day or two ago. So 1400 was incredibly tough to get above. You can see the 1400 there. We kept topping out at 1400, and then yesterday we really just base built right on top of 1400, which is, I think, very positive. 10 cents up about 1.2% this morning, so maybe a little bit still in that one. But I think that we're probably going to push up this morning, and it's starting to look like we're going to test the highs of the year in Naspers, which are probably a good $70-80 above this. All right, look at Woolworths here. Woolworths, I mean, it's not the most convincing thing I've ever seen, but we came back down to test on this kind of island reversal. Sorry about that. I don't know what I just did there. Okay, so we made it on a little island breakout here. We came back down to test support from where we broke out from, and where support is on this little island down here, and I think we made a little bit of a flag over the past couple sessions, which kind of popped out of yesterday. So yeah, I mean, if you zoom it a little bit forward, you can really see the flag that I'm talking about, and testing of support and the reversal back above it. So watch today. I mean, especially if we can get above 80, I think this thing's got legs, potentially back up toward the mid 80s. And then the last one that we'll look at is Discovery, which has been one of the stronger stocks consistently throughout the last year. It just popped up above a new all-time high and new closing highs as of the close yesterday, and really, really looking good. I mean, it's kind of an ugly inverse head and shoulder to an extent. I think the general wave is there, but not necessarily a very clear-cut pattern. But bottom line is, this thing breaking out here has got big upside on a potential target here, as much as 110, 112, 115, somewhere in that neighborhood. So just keep that in mind. The strong ones continue to be strong and weak ones continue to be weak on our exchange. So it's the theme. It's been the theme for a long time. Let's stick with it. That's it for today, guys. Thanks a lot.